All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Finn Vigeland, and on behalf of MDOT, I am really excited to talk a little bit more about delivering commuter programs to help you improve your commute, especially along Maryland 295. That is our corridor of focus, and we're really excited to be working with so many employers along 295 today. I'll go through our agenda and then we'll dive right into it. So we'll start with just some introductions and give you a little bit more background on this pilot program about improving commutes along 295. We'll talk generally about Commuter Choice Maryland, or CCM, and then we'll get into the meat of the discussion this afternoon, which is about just setting up your commuter program. What kinds of approaches can you take to improve your offerings for your employees? We'll explain how you can get started, and then we'll move into some next steps. So I'll say hello again. I'm Finn Vigeland. I'm a project manager and senior transportation planner at Foursquare ITP, and I'm excited to chat with you all this afternoon, and I'll let our other speakers introduce themselves as well. Nikki?
Everyone, my name is Nikki Trasmonte. I am the TDM coordinator for the Maryland Department of Transportation's Commuter Choice Maryland program, which is in the Office of Planning, Programming, and Project Delivery. And I'll pass it along to Michelle Martin.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Michelle Martin, and I am the planning director in the Maryland Department of Transportation Secretary's Office, and also the project manager for this TDM corridor pilot program, and happy to have everyone and looking forward to working with everyone. Thanks. I'll turn it back to you, Finn.
Of course. Thanks, Michelle. Thanks, Nikki. So I'll give everybody just a little bit more background about this program and why we're focused on the Maryland 295 corridor. As you all know, this is we're focused here on commuting, which is a near universal daily activity for all of us. And we understand that intrinsically, this can be a challenge, it can be stressful, and it can be costly. The more time we spend sitting in traffic, the worse our air quality is, the more economic opportunities we lose out on, the more we may lose our employees or our colleagues at work. The average one-way commute in Maryland is over 30 minutes, and we rank number 2 worst commute across the US. That's a lot of time that we should be getting back in our lives for more productive uses. And that is really focused on trying to keep the whole state of Maryland, and in particular the Baltimore region, moving. Ever since the collapse of the Francis Scott Key Bridge almost 2 years ago, however, we have seen a new normal in commuting, and that's something that's just not sustainable, as we're now seeing up to 20 or 30 more minutes stuck sitting in traffic as a result of the impacts from the collapse of the bridge. So MDOT is taking an all of the above approach to try to improve the impacts of the collapse. For one, we have our longstanding Commuter Choice Maryland program, or CCM, which we'll talk a lot more about over the course of this presentation. But there are other measures that we're taking as well. We're trying to improve the availability and accuracy of real-time information so you can make smarter choices in your commutes. We are adjusting operations to our transit services and trying to provide new travel options as well. And we're actively focused on these other kinds of incentives that can help change travel behavior. So offering incentives for taking transit, for carpooling, or for vanpooling, all of which we'll talk about more on this call. Trying to improve the physical infrastructure and in general, increasing engagement with our partners. And you all are a part of that. This is part of that engagement work, in addition to work with our fellow state agencies and local jurisdictions. We understand that this is not a problem that just one entity alone can solve. And so we're focused here this afternoon about trying to partner with employers so that you all can reach your networks of employees to improve commuting for everyone. pilot project that's focused specifically on the Maryland 295 corridor between West Nursery Road and I-95. And the whole purpose of this pilot is to offer free support for employers who are situated along this corridor in order to improve the commuter benefit programs you may already have, or to help you establish new ones. We'll also be doing targeted outreach to employees who work along this corridor with the goal of informing them and encouraging them about all of their options for commuting. So they are not just relying on driving alone to get to work, but they're aware of the transit options, the carpooling and vanpooling options, active transportation modes, and other ways that we can improve their commutes. The end goal here is that we can work with even more employers. Again, you all are a great conduit to reach the people who are commuting in this corridor, and you can offer even more benefits to help them make smarter commuting choices. In general, we want to encourage individual people to shift their travel behavior away from these less sustainable modes and to some of the options that we've listed here. And finally, we also want to learn from all of you and hope that you can share tips and lessons learned with each other. By focusing our efforts here on a very specific corridor, we're hopeful that we're able to see and measure change. And if we see that these strategies to engage with employers and to engage with employees are successful, then we'd like to take them to all sorts of different corridors around the region. So it's really important to us that we hear from you about what's working and how we can help you when things aren't working, so that we can track those strategies, the impact of those strategies, and then try to improve them for other corridors. So if you are an employer, and by that I mean if you are somebody who works in the administration of your business, maybe you're an office manager or the administrator of benefits, we want to work with you to try to reach the employees at your place of work. Step one is to set up an introductory meeting with MDOT. Most likely that's going to be with Nikki, who's on this call, and she'll talk with you a little bit more about what this pilot program is and what your responsibilities will entail. We'd love to meet with you on a monthly basis, whether it's in these workshops or even just less formal settings like drop-in office hours. We want to hear from the employers along the corridor about what you all are hearing from your employees and how we can better meet their needs. Ultimately, we need you to commit to promoting more commuter benefits. That's the end goal here, that we just want to give people more options and more awareness of their options, so you can play a role in helping educate all of your employees. Step 4, we want to make sure that what we're doing is working. And so in order to do that, we would like you to administer a survey to your employees at the start and at the end of the pilot, so we can see how much new information people have learned over the course of the pilot and how much their travel behavior has changed. And I wanted to pause on this point. We provide the surveys, we provide the emails, the copy of the emails that you can send out to your employees. We want to make this as easy for you as possible. That's really true of this entire process, but especially with this employee survey, something that we really want folks to get started with now, so that we're able to measure change over the course of the pilot and hopefully see that people have learned about more options and have started to make a change to their travel behavior. Next step, step 5, we want you to share outcomes. So as I've said, we would love to meet with you ideally on a monthly basis, but whatever cadence feels right for all of you, it's just really helpful for us to hear what lessons you've learned so that we can adapt our approaches. And finally, if you do all that, if you commit to those first 5 steps, we want to celebrate and recognize you. We will give you an employer partner badge that you can post on your employer webpage. We will advertise your own successes through our own marketing efforts, whether that's a newsletter from CCM, social media posting. We hope that the successes that you have can then be shared with other employers around the corridor and in general around the greater Baltimore region, so that other employers are able to take a page from your book. This pilot program runs for about 6 months through July. So we want to make sure that we get started now so we're able to see results by the time the pilot ends. With that, I'm going to turn the mic over to Nikki, who will talk about Commuter Choice Maryland and in general about getting your commuter benefits program set up. Nikki.
Thank you, Finn, for that overview of the pilot program. And I'm going to give a quick overview of our Commuter Choice Maryland program. So our program was relaunched in 2018 as a free statewide program under the Maryland Department of Transportation. So our main goal is to really shift people from driving alone to other modes of transportation, whether that's transit, carpooling, vanpooling, biking, or more. We work with employers, so particularly for this pilot, to really set up commuter benefits, incentives, and recognition for them. And we also wanted to remind people that we also support individual Maryland commuters as well to get to work in a more efficient manner, safer, and greener way. So next slide, please. This is a quick snapshot of all the programs under our Commuter Choice Maryland umbrella. They all live on the baltimorecommutes.org website. So some examples include Guaranteed Ride Home, Ride Matching, and the new Ride Together Rewards program, which I'll talk about more soon later on in this workshop. For any employers who are new to this workshop, I just want to mention by participating in this pilot, you are automatically opted into our employer partner program. So you can email me directly after the workshop and we can help you get started. So the next slide, please. Just another call out to our employer partner program. Why do we focus on employers? Employers have a lot of influence that can be leveraged. When employers offer commuter programs and subsidies, it can encourage mode shift, right? Especially by promoting these benefits internally. So we partner with employers of all different sizes, providing customized support to help them set up these low-cost commuter programs and really overall achieve cost savings and receive recognition. So some employer partner benefits that we'd like to highlight would be 1, free support, customized plans and program evaluation. 2 would be statewide recognition. 3 would be cost savings, and 4 would be to achieve sustainability goals. And now we're going to dive into different approaches to commuter programs. So commuter benefits are incentives offered by employers that help them save out-of-pocket expenses for commuting to work. So these can be offered by employers of any size. Employers who offer commuter benefits see a range of clear and practical organization-wide benefits. So first, it's good for business operations. When your employees have reliable options beyond driving alone, they're less vulnerable to traffic congestion or car trouble, or they're more likely to arrive on time for work. Fewer employees driving alone can also reduce parking demand at your work site, so allowing more parking availability for visitors or other business needs. And offering commuter benefits is also a great way for employers to bolster their corporate sustainability profile. So another practical benefit is it is good for the bottom line. Of course, you can save money, and there are financial incentives tied to that as well, which I will talk about later in the workshop. And it's also good for employees. So participating employees can save money and time by utilizing a variety of transportation options, which helps boost recruitment and retention and improve employee reliability. So here's a quick snapshot of the different overall approaches to commuter programs, which I will share about today. First, we have commuter programs like commuter-friendly policies, on-location amenities, transportation services, transit benefits, and an active transportation program. So first, we have commuter incentives. So I just want to mention that we partner with Commuter Connections to provide free resources on the baltimorecommutes.org website. So there is a free ride matching platform. There's also a free program called Guaranteed Ride Home. So if you take sustainable transportation 2 times a week, you'd be eligible for 6 free rides home from work for emergencies each year. And we also have commuter rewards. So we have a new carpool incentive program. So each carpool participant can get $320 over the course of 3 months, as well as a vanpool program, which you can save $500 for that vanpool group. We can also send this link as well if you want to sign up for a Commuter Connections account. So there are many reasons that businesses choose to implement telework and flexible work policies. Not all of them are relevant to every business, but many businesses find that allowing their employees to telework or flex their hours is beneficial for both their employees and the bottom line. So some reasons that businesses implement these policies include increased productivity and job satisfaction among employees. Again, what I said before, recruitment and retention, especially for well-qualified employees. There's a reduction in costs associated with physical office space, which includes overhead costs, for example, or energy or parking expenses. And another example could be enhanced work-life balance for your workforce. So moving on to transportation services. This is another approach you can utilize as well at your work site. So carpools and vanpools are a great way to commute to work. Commuters typically experience a more efficient commute than driving alone, especially in areas where high occupancy vehicle or toll lanes are available. There are more predictable costs as well. So it's usually cheaper than driving alone, and as well as not using your personal vehicle. So the maintenance with that and less stress related to commuting, and it can lead to a better work-life balance. Employers who sponsor carpool or vanpool programs may experience better employee satisfaction, recruitment and retention, reduce absenteeism, so providing a more reliable way for employees to get to work, and of course, tax savings, which I will touch upon shortly. Next slide, please. We also have transit benefits as well. That's another option for your employees to get to work. You can provide MTA fare media, for example, Amtrak or other services. And we wanted to point out that we have a fair share incentive program for employers in the region. So this is a great opportunity for employers participating in the pilot or in the greater Baltimore region who have access to MTA stations like the local Link, commuter bus, or the MARC train. They can save $3,000 to offset that transit fare media costs. And you can participate by joining via that email, mta@mta.maryland.gov. So, and as a reminder, you can as well, if you're implementing this at your work site, you can save money through the federal fringe benefit and the Maryland commuter tax credit. So another approach we have is active transportation. So incorporating physical activity into your work commute is referred to as active commuting and typically involves walking, running, bicycling, and using public transportation. So it's really anything that gets you to use your own muscles as part of your work trip that counts. So it's encouraging and incentivizing active commuting options in your workplace, and you can also offer it can also offer many rewards. It can really support your employees in building a healthy lifestyle and overall well-being. If people are fitting in some sort of exercise in their day, it can really boost their mood and productivity, which as a result can really help with recruitment and retention at your work site. So it can really lead to benefits to not only someone's commute, but their overall lifestyle. And it's another approach to implement at your work site. And I just want to call out that MDOT actually has an interactive bicycle level of traffic stress map to help bicyclists find bike routes anywhere in Maryland. So that really helps them with maybe the burden or for them to actually feel comfortable biking to work. So that's a great resource you can point out to your staff as well. And lastly, another approach we have is to provide on-location amenities for your staff. So the examples of this vary from having access to the best parking spots for those who carpool or vanpool to work together, which in turn will reduce the number of single occupancy vehicles in your parking lot since people are commuting together. So that would reduce the need for additional parking at your work site, for example. Another example would be setting up bike parking to making biking accessible to those who are interested in doing so. And that could help build security for that option and encourage people to bike to work as well. So, touching upon the financial incentives I kind of hinted on earlier, there are several options that you can take advantage of as you build your commuter benefits program. The first would be the Maryland Commuter Tax Credit. So, if you're providing some sort of subsidy that applies, you can save up to 50% of the cost of providing that subsidy. So that leads to tax credit savings for your business. Another option would be the federal tax-free commuter benefits, which you can save on payroll taxes. And the last one I just want to call out is our Fair Share program. Again, if you want to save on that transit fare media for MTA services, you could take advantage of that program as well. And I just want to mention during our office hours, which I will talk about shortly, you can ask us more specific questions if you have questions about these financial incentives. So now we're going to go into how we can implement these commuter benefits and get started at your work site. So we divided this into two parts. The first part is really to start working with us to get an understanding of what your organization's needs are for your employees and your work site. So the first step, you'll meet with a CCM specialist, which would be me. And then step two would be we'd assess your work site and evaluate different options that are available for your employees. And then the third step, we'll be able to conduct an employee survey, which would be customizable to your work site depending on what parameters you want to measure for your organization and your employees' commuting needs. And then the fourth step for this part would be creating a transportation plan. So it's essentially a recommendation guide to help you achieve these goals. So moving on to part two. From part one, we would use that information on your employees' current commute patterns, pain points, and interests. And then we'll dive into the implementation stage. So step 5 is to choose which commuter benefits to offer your employees. And then after that, we would determine your program logistics, your start date, how we want to administer this, if it's going to be in-house or through a third party. And then after that, we would set up systems for incentives and rewards. So that could be with payroll or your admin team to really get started in-house. And then the next step after that would be to promote your program to your employees. So we want to make it as easy as possible for you. We will provide you with promotional materials, enrollment instructions, educational materials to distribute to your staff for them to get started. And I just want to mention and highlight an idea that you can use or utilize if you're interested in, or you don't know where to get started, let's say. You can implement a workplace commuter challenge. So we actually have an app called Commuter Cash where there is a section built in for employers if you want to create a commuter challenge with your staff to maybe encourage them to commute together or use other modes of transportation other than driving alone. This is a great way to really incentivize people to ride together and take advantage of like commuter benefits. And then I just want to spotlight and highlight the University of Maryland actually has a commuter challenge in place. where participants can earn rewards and redeem them for parking passes. So it's a great way to really encourage your workforce to do so. And then another example I want to highlight is one of our employer partners, which is Maryland Live Casino. We help them implement a vanpool program to help their employees get to work. So that's one example of a commuter benefits program that you can take advantage of in action in real life. And this example, if you're not too familiar with them, they are a casino. So a lot of their workers work late nights or have different shift hours. So it's a great way to help their employees get to work and set up a commuter benefits program. The next employer spotlight I want to highlight is Perscalis, which is a technical school based in Baltimore City. They're another one of our employer partners. They offer pre-tax Metro benefits. So that's another example of a transit benefit that you could offer at your work site. And I just wanted to shout out their managing director. They said it really helped with their employee job satisfaction. So again, these resources are really beneficial to worksite. You know, it helps with retention, recruitment, etc. Yeah, so we're going to move on to kind of next steps within this pilot. So I just wanted to highlight that we do have office hours available. They're going to be every fourth Tuesday at 2 p.m. It's a chance for you to just ask any questions you have. Maybe it's as simple as what transportation system or what service is right next to my work site, or as detailed as a specific tax credit question. Feel free to bring anything that you have regarding our program, or if you want to get started, or if you just have any questions in general, we're here to help. Part of this pilot, again, is survey work. So we want to be able to survey your employees at the start of it and the end to see what works for you, how we can improve our program, and we can improve your worksite as well. And I just want to mention we can provide these free marketing and outreach materials for you. We have a whole resource guide available. I'm happy to ship you any materials that you need. We really just want to support you in your efforts. And then again, if you're interested in having an event, I can join you. I can come to your employer site if you want to do a lunch and learn, do a tutorial on how to get started with a carpool or ride matching. We can do that. We are open to that, so let us know. And next steps. And again, if you're new to this workshop, I'd love to schedule an introductory meeting to get to know your business, get to know what your needs are. You'd either meet with me or a local rideshare coordinator. We'll go over the type of benefits you offer or what you want to expand or get into. We'll be able to share survey work, materials, etc. And then as a reminder, our next office hours is going to be March 24th from 2 to 3 p.m. On a Tuesday. And if you're interested in an event, just let me know. And if you have any other people in your network or any other organizations that you work closely with that are also within this corridor, please let us know. You know, getting the word out and educating people on these incentives will really help our region with congestion. And not only that, we can help each other out in our communities.
Great. Thank you, Nikki. Is there
Thank you,
anything
Finn.
else that we'd like to add before we wrap up here? Michelle or Nikki, any other tips or notes we'd like to close on?
Just that we're going to make this as easy as we can for everyone. We look forward to working with everyone. I put email in the chat so that you know how to reach us, so we can coordinate getting the conversation started and help you with events and surveys. Make
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
first email and we're happy to work with you.
Yeah, we have a lot of resources. We are very willing to come to you, to come to your employees. We want to adapt to whatever way would work best to help make commuting along this corridor easier. So I think with that, we'll wrap up. Please feel free to reach out to us at this email address, or feel free to call us at this phone number. But we are ready and willing to help you, and Nikki will be there to help you get your benefits set up. And I think with that, we'll close out for this afternoon. So nice to chat with you all, and we look forward to speaking with you soon. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.